class, right? That would drop the effectiveness of defensive archers so much. Right?
If Archer was, if Elf was buffed to the point where, let's say we improved the Elf shield to a point where it was, regenerating faster than it was being drained.
Yeah, and we like up the number of elves that there would be playing and stuff.
You would up the number of elves to be playing to the point where, well, most regulars don't like being headshot, so you get most offensive players playing Elf.
I mean, if Elf and Soldier were relatively similar skill level, in matches, I would play Elf.
And then at the moment, Archers are pretty much the premier, or maybe even the only real recovery. We've got ninjas, yeah, but I mean, ninjas can be killed so fast that.
Well, yeah, we have all the squishy recovery classes basically.
Provided you have one medic, I mean, headshots are really the only way to go.
Yeah, and that's why I don't. Yeah.
If you're going into midfield, Archers are going to be the ones that are going to recover it. So if you buff it to the point where an Elf is, I don't know, like as I say, if you buff Elf to a point where it's the best capping class, everyone's going to use it and nobody's going to be an Archer.
Right. I'd honestly like to see like a complete rework of the water element, because I think like having to sit there melee range almost, like, okay, you can shoot it from afar when people come out of the flag room, but if you're looking to actually be in the flag room as Elf, you're melee range, right?
Right.
And pulling back a bow melee range is a class like Elf, and I mean you even see it with Pyro. Like,
you're probably gonna die.
Classes like Ninja Heavy will kill you before you're able to do almost anything. Which brings up the suggestion that I had. I would like Elf, and this would help it both on offensive and defensive support, is that I would like for the Elf, like the shot, right? The original shot to still reduce, like, get rid of the fire, right?
Yeah.
Keep that the same as it is. But I'd like for it to apply resistance 1 and regeneration 2 to an area for 5 seconds in an AoE around where the area was shot.
That is exactly what I've been thinking, because that is the support aspect that you want, defensively, offensively,
well, yeah, so
support-wise.
Say I'm playing defense, right, and I have like a heavy and a pyro, like 2 like really strong defensive classes that I don't want to die in, like even say like a ninja. If I see the enemy team coming in, I could drop the water element, right, to prepare for like an offensive push. On the other side, I could drop it outside the flag room so that when my flag carrier gets out, right, they immediately run into an area where they have regeneration and resistance real quick, take less damage, and are able to get out, right?
Obviously, you wouldn't want to take quick cast. You might even want to cool down on that just to make sure that it's not.
Either you have those buffs and no cooldown, or you add quick cast and add a cooldown.
Well, I'd actually like to see those buffs with a slight cooldown increase, because if it lasts 5 seconds, you'd be able to keep it up permanently with arrow regen.
Right.
The main worry I can see with this is if you team with the reworked water element, of course, with a buffed heavy. Because then you've got a heavy with resistance, buffs, and, the...
Yeah.
The
values itself might be changed with... I don't know about the resistance. It might just be regen... Like, regen 2 only might be the better way to go.
Kill the pyro after that, I would be surprised.
And, okay, to be completely honest, regen 2 is, like, doesn't do that much, right? So if we're talking about, like, the regeneration you see in game...
I'm worried about.
Medic, Chemist, Mage, all of the regenerations are, like, 4 and up, right?
And you can still be bursted down with them, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, we could...
I'm still worried about resistance with the heavy, though.
Okay, resistance 1 alone isn't a big deal. Especially, okay, because here's the thing. Like, as an offensive player, are you actually going to kill that heavy? Like, even if it doesn't have resistance?
You're more likely to kill it than not.
Well, no, but, like, you're not aiming to kill that heavy, because that heavy's gonna get so much damage off on you before you die that it's not worth it, you know?
Yeah, but that's a problem with just heavy in general at the minute.
I don't think that's a problem with heavy in general. I don't think it's a problem at all. I think that's just, like, an offensive mindset. Like, if you're going to capture the flag, you don't want to fight shit.
If you're going to fight shit, then obviously you're going in with a heavy and an elf.
I mean, if you pick a fight with someone with more armor than you, whether or not they have resistance, and then expect to,
They're
like,
likely to die. Yeah,
come out alive and then steal and cap, like, you're crazy.
I'm just saying we're probably making a potential problem worse, because pyros...
Yeah. Well, okay, so here's the thing. The reason I included the resistance is because if it was just the regeneration, right, that puts us in a situation where it's a shittier chemist. Right?
I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying that maybe we need to think about what we're doing with heavy at the same time.
It's a hard idea, just elf in general. It's actually going to be a hard class to balance out.
It's something interesting could be with the recent changes to the fire res on chemist, right? How it only lasts 30 seconds. That area, players in that area could get fire res
That's an interesting idea. Get fire resistance, so you can still take. The
So
extra
let's say
damage.
like fire res regen 1, right? And regen 1 is like half a heart every 5 seconds, so probably like fire res regen 2, right?
Right.
Which is a heart every 5 or a heart every 3 or something. Which honestly is not that much, but could end up like if we're
Being
looking
a
at stuff
very
like ninja versus pyro, right? If the pyro regenerates half a heart in that time period, the ninja can't two-shot it.
That would probably be a better idea because that some heavy damage to the heavy as it goes out.
Yeah. And that would also allow the use of flint and steel to kind of rise because you wouldn't be too worried about like setting yourself on fire, setting teammates on fire from a defensive standpoint if you got fire res in that area for that time.
Yeah.
And so if we
So that
do
brings
that
us
though, if we do that, I think we should remove it putting out the fire on the shot then.
Yeah, because then it gets to a point where
Because
you know.
Yeah, you have a large time period where you can't be,
Yep.
But
Well, you can't be set off. And then
that could be
again,
massive counterplay to stuff like Frenzy, though, which I think currently does not have much counterplay at all, other than like medic killing it off.
I mean, when a pyro's got frenzy, essentially, unless your medic should die.
Yeah. Well, here's the
Unless
thing.
you're an incredibly skilled PvPer that can kill the pyro before it gets.
With
any
this
hits.
idea, say you have Frenzy, and I see that you're right next to my flag, you're about to get into Frenzy, right? And I'm an elf, and I throw this down. You Frenzy, the player doesn't get lit on fire, right? It's a big counter. And I think Pyro honestly it doesn't need more counters in terms of like a defensive class because it can get shut down a lot. But in terms of like recovery and stuff,
It can get shut down with Ninja. Again, Ninja being.
but like a one-on-one between like a heavy and another class, and I mean, referencing one-on-ones is like terrible because it's a team game. But like what I'm saying is, almost no class stands a chance if the Pyro has Frenzy, right?
If the
At
pyro has
moment.
frenzy, against a regular player, a regular pyro, you might have a chance. But I mean, frenzy
Well,
was meant to be one of the draws.
And
of
this
pyro.
is good for like noobs too, because say like I'm a good player, I've been playing for a while, right, or something like that. I'm an elf main, right? And I see that my like new player on my team is about to get frenzied by a pyro, right? Boom! I toss down the water element, right? Pyro activates frenzy, and the player is safe. Like, there's potential for people who do play the game or veterans to actually support newer players with this class and have it be somewhat effective. I mean, the same way medic is, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever like switched to medic to like heal a newer player, but they sit at spawn like asking for medic for like 10 minutes because no one will heal them because no one knows who they are, right? And when you finally switch, they're like so grateful, right?
Right.
So say you like saved their life from like halfway across the map. That's pretty fucking cool for like a new player, I think. Like,
Yeah, it'll make them pretty happy.
The question is whether or not you'd use the water element. And I guess the point is, you have the power to save somebody, but do you actually do it? And
I mean,
again
there-
goes into
there-
the
there's
point,
potential
I'm a
there.
medic right now, do I want to heal you or not?
there's potential there, is what I'm saying.
It
Basically.
gives you more potential.
Yeah. So I think.
That really balances the individual abilities, but what about their interaction together, all put together into one? Because it's not just about balancing individual abilities; it's about making them into a cohesive.
Well, yeah. So the way I see it is that wind element and earth element will be primarily defensive. Wind element could be used actually offensively to like quarrel up a flag room.
It's mobility. It's mobility to get around.
Well, no, but I mean the right click that we discussed, because like if you're going into a flag room and you throw that down like a couple feet from the flag post and maybe like potentially pull in the pyro or something, right?
Yeah.
That's
Set down
really,
a water element to make fire resistance. and
yeah,
then-
like pop down a water element, wind element the pyro away from the flag, right?
Yeah.
That could be really good. But I see it more as like a recovery help tool, kind of like Mage Freeze.
And again, pure element is just basically anywhere as long as you enough space.
Pure
to
element is
fire.
anywhere, which is fine because it's a skill cap based ability.
Yeah.
The more you play the class, the better you'll get with it. Perfectly fine, exactly how it should be. Counters obviously to Elf Earth Element, like just dodge the arrow, right?
So
Like
we've said counter. The main counters to elf are mage and.
Mage, Ninja.
What else? Are we having any other counters to this new elf?
I'd argue that in a one-on-one, Pyro would be a counter to the new elf, or the quote-unquote new elf, if we were to remove the instant cast water, right?
Right, because then it couldn't insta
But
caps onto itself. And it
That
probably
could potentially nerf that problem we could have if we buff the armor of elf with it being like an OP capping class, and then we wouldn't have to remove the stake that we possibly like discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Which does slot it into more of a supportive style class, which I think is what we are, or what we should be aiming for with Elf.
Okay.